Harry, I wondered, how much does Donald Trump need to cognitively deteriorate before we acknowledge that the emperor has no brain? I've wondered, well, what if he just started babbling incomprehensibly? Like, is that what it's going to take? Is that what it's going to take for people to realize that this guy is completely disabled and incompetent and unfit? And the answer is actually no, that won't be enough. Because in terms of Trump's cognitive decline, I've picked three examples here that I really want us to look at carefully, because they are really they're, even though we've been following his cognitive decline, right? What we're seeing is what we predicted. First of all, we predicted that it was going to get worse. We predicted that because he has dementia, which is an organic deteriorating illness, he was going to keep becoming more demented, and his thinking was going to become even more disordered. Well, let's listen to some examples.
A deal with Iran of some kind if you were reelected?
Sure, I would do that. I believe in getting. It doesn't matter. I have a great memory, but it's a memory that wants to serve the people.
And what does that mean? He's asked a question about Iran, and then he says, I have a great memory that wants to serve all the people.
He forgot what the question was.
Yeah.
And then he went to how great his memory was.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, hey, I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. And it's happening to him more and more.
Yeah, the master weaver who's so good at weaving this disparate elements, there's no weave in that.
There's nothing to weave.
There's nothing to weave. There's no hem left. Even a master weaver could pull that together. All right, let's see another example.
What actions will you take to ensure that our jobs stay in America so we can continue to build the best cars in the world here in Michigan?
So pretty much as we've been saying, and what I want to do is I want to be able to, look, your business, years ago in this area, I was honored as the man of the year. It was maybe 20 years ago. Oh, and the fake news heard about it. They said, it never happened, it never happened. And I didn't know who it was. It was a group that honored me as man of the year. The fakers back there, see the fake news? But they said, oh, and they looked, and they said it never happened, but I said, I swear to you, it happened, it did happen, I was man of the year. And I came and I made a speech and I said, why do you allow them to take your car business away? Why do you allow it to happen? They're taking your business away. And I didn't know too much about it. All I know is they were taking your car industry away from you. They said it never happened, and lo and behold, somebody said, I remember the event, and then we found out and we had everything. We got the awards, we had everything. It did happen, but I gave a speech which at the time was pretty controversial.
Again, a total disconnect, right? He goes from, what are you going to do about bringing car jobs back, to, I was man of the year. That did happen. I was here. We have proof. We've got the statue. We've got the certificate. I was man of the year.
They're eating the cars. They're eating the trucks. It makes no sense. Absolutely. Don't we have the text of this?
We actually have the text, and we're going to ask Harry, because of his literary background, to read this text for us. We're going to do a deep textual analysis here to really dig into this text and kind of what is happening here.
What actions will you take to ensure that our jobs stay in America so we can continue to build the best cars in the world here in Michigan? So pretty much as we've been saying, and what I want to do is I want to be able to ... Now this is where he's lost his train of thought. It's gone. And now he's trying to recover. Look, your business, years ago in this area, I was honored as the man of the year. All right. So what does he do? He can't remember what he's about to say. Mm-hmm. And so he associates to an honor. Mm-hmm. Because whenever Trump associates, he associates to how great he is.
Right.
It was maybe 20 years ago. Oh, and the fake news heard about it. They said it never happened. It never happened. And I didn't know who it was. I didn't know who it was. It was a group that honored me as Man of the Year. Wait, so he doesn't know what the group was?
Apparently
Now,
not.
he's lost his way again, and then he knows he can get the crowd to boo if
Mhm.
he points to the press who are always at the other side of the room.
Right.
It says, "The faker's back there. Is he the fake news?" But is he the fake news? But
Yeah.
they said, "Oh," and they looked at it, they said it never happened, but I said, "I swear to you it happened. It did happen. I was Man of the Year." And I came and I made a speech and I said, "Why do you allow them to take your car business away?" Now, I think he's now remembering or pretending to
Uh-huh.
remember what he said when he
Right.
was awarded Man of the Year, but that's still really far from the question.
Right.
So why do you
This-
allow it to happen? So he's quoting himself. They're taking your business away. Again, this is like they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, right? It's the same thing. And I didn't know too much about it. Oh my God, he admitted to not knowing something.
Right.
All I know is they were taking your car industry away from you. They said it never happened. Now, what's the it refer to?
Right.
It meaning the speech never happened, that he never got the award, or that they never took the car industry away from you?
I think he's going back to the award.
I think, but and lo and behold, somebody said, "I remember the event," and then we found out that we had everything. We got the awards. We had everything. It did happen, but I gave a speech which at the time was pretty controversial. That's what he was trying to say.
Yes,
He was
he
trying
said
to
something
remember
about cars. He said something about the car industry 20 years ago when they honored him as Man of the Year, and
but
that's
he couldn't remember what it was.
couldn't remember what he said. It's like it's really too bad your industry's doing so lousy. They're, they're taking it away from you.
No,
Okay.
it's really it's like finding moldy bread somewhere. Like it should hold together, but it really doesn't.
Yeah.
It's sad though because he's trying to get it together.
Yeah.
And when you
Yeah.
talk to someone suffering from dementia who isn't at an advanced stage, they'll often tell you stories that almost fit together, but they get lost and they have to come back and they get lost. What he calls his genius weave.
Yeah.
But not
Yeah.
here.
No,
Well, it's never
no.
genius weave, but it's not here.
Right. Yeah. No, not at all. And finally, Rex, do we have that tape? The one of his talking about the actor?
These are rough, vicious, rougher than anything you can imagine. There is no, and I say it all the time, if you want to do a movie on some of these people that you're going to be looking at in 2 minutes, if you wanted to do a movie, there's no actor in Hollywood that could play the role. There's nobody that could do it. These actors, they're a little bit shaky. They can't play the role. They'll bring in a big actor and you look, you say, oh, he's got no muscle content. He's got no muscle. We need a little muscle. Then they bring in another one, but he's got a weak face. He looks weak. No, these guys have the whole package.
He's rambling, and he's also, again, talking about his own decline and
Mhm.
projecting it. I'm losing muscle. I have a weak face.
Interesting.
Isn't it? I mean,
It is interesting. We're going to talk later about his, quote about calling Kamala mentally incapacitated or whatever. I think it's the same
Okay.
kind of thing. He's really talking about himself.